What's up, motherfuckers? I forgot about this pot. Got the Busted Open segment with Tony Khan here.
It's time for AEW owner and president, Mr. Tony Khan. Tony, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
I got nervous for a second. We thought we might have lost you. All right, Tony, I'm gonna start it off, and we're gonna get into Fight for the Fallen, some major matches, but I have a big question to ask you right off the bat at the start of the interview. Okay, I hope you're comfortable enough to answer this question because it's big.
Is that the grand prize right there? Or are you about to give him a gift card to Applebee's?
No, I won't. But this is an important question, Tony.
Okay.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
I don't know. That's a really hard question. Dave, are you a fan of both of those? I'm just curious.
I am a fan of just one.
I really like both. I'm a fan of both. I started watching Star Trek first and got into Star Wars later. When I probably started Star Trek when I was 4 years old because they had a cartoon.
Yep.
But I probably have watched in the last 2 decades more Star Wars than Star Trek. I don't know. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I would say when I was a kid, probably more Star Trek, and then as an adult, maybe more Star Wars.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'm a Star Trek guy, not a Star Wars guy, but
well, you're famously not a Star Wars guy, right? Aren't you famous for not watching Star Wars?
I'm famous for not and I'm not crazy about the cult that is the Star Wars fan. So
he's famous for not growing past the 80s. That's what he should be.
And we're using the word famous really loosely here. You know?
That's true.
But seriously, Tony, thanks for joining us. And thanks for answering that question, honestly. And I'm excited for what we're going to see tonight because there are some big matches. But I don't think there's anything bigger than the return tonight of Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, tonight's going to be a great night. It's Fight for the Fallen, one of the biggest AEW shows. This is the 4th annual Fight for the Fallen. And I think it's our biggest card and one of our biggest nights. I'm really excited. Of course, Bryan Danielson's returning tonight, taking on one of the best young wrestlers in AEW. I really believe one of the best young wrestlers anywhere, Daniel Garcia. It's quite a rivalry between the Blackpool Combat Club and this group of sports entertainers. And to see pro wrestling versus sports entertainment, I think this is going to be a great match.
I forgot to add this in when I was talking about Fight for the Fallen tonight. I was waiting for this to come up, but it didn't come up till after I was out. So I wanted to put this up and then also let you guys know that UFC 277 is this Saturday night. Amanda Nunes in the main event. That one's from Texas. That should be pretty good. I forgot to add that in the last episode. So, like I said, you guys see I got the trailer. When the trailer pops up on there for the thumbnail, you can see the trailer, and then it rolls to another old episode after the video is over with. Just automatically sends you to an old episode, and then I have the new one is set up where it links you to the next episode. So I have them set up differently, so I can have them linked either way. So they'll roll right to another video right after that. And then, like I said, they got the trailer in them now, too. So I've been upgrading shit, trying to make it better for you guys. Hope you're enjoying that.
And really probably more emphasis on the pro wrestling than sports entertainment here with Bryan Danielson returning to the ring tonight against Daniel Garcia. And like you said, Dave, that's something I think we've all been really looking forward to.
And if you click that little purple pick in the right corner of the video with your mouse, you can subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, where it says Minnesota Vikings fan and Minnesota Silver Roll Hunter. In that bottom right corner, it's a purple pick, and you can click that with your mouse and subscribe. I got that added up in there too, so I'm doing what I can.
Forward to for a long time, and seeing Bryan Danielson back.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And not just, like you said, that matchup, but we have a bunch of matches as well. And our very own Thunder Rosa putting that AEW Women's Championship on the line after losing just a few weeks ago. So that is going to be a major match tonight for Fight for the Fallen
next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge night, a few championship matches on tap. So it's going to be an awesome night on TBS tonight. It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And I'm really looking forward to, as you said, Thunder Rosa, Yamashita. They had a great match at Summer Sun Princess for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. We recently showed that match in its entirety on AEW Dark. We had some great international matches featuring some of the AEW stars. And Yamashita Thunder Rosa was near the top or at the top. And really excited to see that match tonight on TBS. Yamashita, one of the top women we've had coming into AEW this year. And really, I was hoping to get her featured sooner in AEW. And she'd had some responsibilities, commitments in Japan. And to say that she pulled off one of the big upsets of the year, I think would be an understatement. Getting that win over Thunder Rosa, and then she can upset Thunder Rosa again tonight. We'll have a new champion on TBS.
I always talk about different styles make for different matches, and I'm really excited for two matches, but the one I'm most excited for is Moxley versus Roosh. When I heard that announcement, I was like, wow, I never thought I really wanted to see that match, and now I can't wait to see it. And just because you think about they're so different, but I know they're just going to tear it up, because also Moxley has just been having incredible matches with all different type of performers each and every
John Moxley, woo!
Yep, I totally agree. John Moxley has been tearing the house down on a regular basis all summer long, and really all year. I think John Moxley, since he came back to pro wrestling at the start of 2022, just really consistently has taken on a variety of different opponents.
You're the man.
And in particular, since he became AEW's interim champion, he's had some great matches. And I'm with you, Tommy. It was a match I hadn't really considered myself that much. And Roosh is fairly new to AEW, but we've been respecting people coming through the forbidden door. We've been working with other wrestling companies around the world. And Roosh is somebody who has been on fire the last couple of years in pro wrestling. And as we mentioned, this past weekend at Death Before Dishonor, which was a huge success for Ring of Honor, Roosh is somebody who's come into AEW, took out Penta, a former AEW World Tag Team Champion, and then went over to Death Before Dishonor, took on his brother, Dragon Lee. He won the match under a little bit questionable circumstances. It was a really great scientific match. Then that
was a decent pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor. I watched that. It was all right.
Saw Roosh play possum to kind of sucker his brother in, take advantage of him, and win the match. That's 10 straight wins for Roosh across AEW, Ring of Honor, and Lucha Libre. And with his great resume, I think he's the perfect wrestler to walk through the forbidden door. He's a former 2-time Ring of Honor World Champion, and definitely somebody I think is a great opponent, a great contender for the AEW World title. So it'll be really interesting to see Moxley versus Roosh for the interim world title tonight.
Nice,
and again, whoever ends up as the interim world champion, CM Punk, when he comes back, we're setting up for a great unification match to crown an undisputed AEW World Champion.
Yeah.
Yes, I said it on the air, and you have that winning lottery ticket.
I think it'll be CM Punk, John Moxley at the next pay-per-view, all-out unified world title match. I think the main event will probably be Moxley and Punk, September 4th, all out or all in, whatever the hell it is. I can't remember which one. September 4th, Sunday, September 4th, the main event, Moxley, CM Punk for the unified belt.
The ticket waiting for you once Punk is ready to return from his injury, because that is a main event matchup. If it is going to be him versus Moxley, whatever your interim champion, that is, cashing in that lottery ticket, because it is a major money match. The other match that from last week that sold me, and it had nothing to do with wrestling, but everything to do with different styles make for interesting matches, was I hold him in the grain of Orange Cassidy. I'm one of the biggest fans of. He's a character that has yet to show his pure wrestling. And I just really...
What he's got in the tank as far as wrestling,
pure wrestling. He Starks declined to fight him right then and there was just great, because then he showed why he is a great heel. And I just really am very, very interested in this match.
It should be a lot of fun. It's an interesting comparison, because Danhausen is a very entertaining person. I agree with you. Some similarities to Orange Cassidy, where we're not sure what he's got in the tank as far as...
I like to just get to the parts with Tony Khan and what he has to say. So I don't really care what Tommy Dreamer has to say, or this Mickey chick coming up on here. So I kind of tend to just skip on through, because they're just wasting fucking time, if you ask me. We don't really care what Tommy Dreamer and Mickey have to fucking say. I don't think, anyway. I just try to help you guys have to skip through the fucking torture of the garbage.
As far as wrestling goes, I'm not sure he's got the same styles or scientific background, even as Orange Cassidy, but Danhausen really captures the imagination of the fans, and he's somebody who really is very entertaining. He's broken through and crossed over even before he worked for AEW. Was able to get some mainstream attention. He went on Conan O'Brien's show and got a lot of attention. And I really like Danhausen. I think he would be a great FTW champion, but definitely he represents something completely different than Taz did when Taz established that belt. And with Ricky Starks being somebody who's worked with Taz for a long time, has defended that title numerous times, especially in 2022. We've seen Ricky Starks go out and have a lot of great championship matches. I think it's going to be a great one, but man, it would be really something to see Danhausen with that FTW title.
Tonight, Fight for the Fallen, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
I'll be looking for
AEW
that,
Dynamite
Dave.
On TBS. And Tony, you mentioned the match with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, this is Tony Khan. I'm busted open today, talking about AEW Dynamite. Fight for the Fallen. Should be a good show. Great show.
And, one of the things that you've been able to do with the Forbidden Door is make people aware of other pro wrestling products. We talked about this before. At a time where other wrestling companies may shy away from it, you have no pro wrestling. And for you,
exciting time.
Vince McMahon, retired this past week. This truly is a new era in pro wrestling right now.
It is, and it's an exciting time. And I think it's been a positive time for all pro wrestling recently. In America, there are a lot of really positive stories. I think the two biggest wrestling companies in the world have thrived this year. WWE's having a very good business year. AEW's having a very good business year. For us at AEW, we've been the #1 show on Wednesday for 5 straight weeks. We're hoping that tonight we can do it again. And this will be the 6th straight Wednesday where AEW Dynamite's been the #1 show on cable. It's a really nice streak for us to get hot again with that. And really all across the world, there's been a lot of exciting things happening in pro wrestling. Taking a very different approach, especially since the pandemic ended, to partnerships in pro wrestling. There's different ways to disseminate and spread the word about your company. And before I was really even old enough to watch wrestling, when I was an infant, a newborn, a little kid, territories were being taken over. There was a lot of consolidation in pro wrestling, and really places all over America, in particular, all over North America, were getting put out of business. And I've really tried to operate AEW in a very different way. For us, we really care about our television programming and try and operate and do first-class shows and put the focus on ourselves. But definitely we don't pretend there's no other wrestling out there, and definitely want to acknowledge the other wrestling companies, the history of wrestling and what's happening in wrestling today, but also all these other promotions. And that's why you see AEW work with other companies, some here in North America, but a lot of companies all over the world, including New Japan Pro Wrestling. And a great example is what we've done with Tokyo Joshi Pro. Also, you've seen PAC defending the title overseas, Rev Pro, and again, this past weekend against RJ Cleary. And working with these promotions, I think it's been good for AEW, and it's been good for them. And I'm happy to help out and do good things for other wrestling companies rather than go and try and shut them down.
And I'm glad you're doing that, and you've been doing that, and it shows, because I think it's just good for pro wrestling, and like I mentioned Vince McMahon and Dominate, and I think,
and really, when I was in the wrestling business, and I think right now,
success, I think overall long term is good for every promotion out there.
Yeah,
totally agree. And I think right now in the wrestling business, it's been a good year for the sport, and really. When I was a kid in 1998, I think all pro wrestling was so hot, and really it was unfortunate what happened over the next couple of years after that. And if we could have kept it like it was in '98, where imagine if it was 1998 forever, where all the companies were just red hot all over the world instead of everything just kind of moving in one direction. But there's a lot of changes in pro wrestling. I think it's going to be really positive for the fans overall. I am a little amused that changes in the competition, people think that it's just going to magically change the landscape. Like some of these accounts, Twitter can be a very fun place to follow, but some of the narratives I've seen every day for the last week are really amusing me. I've got people signed here for 5 years, and people think just because the guy, the CEO, the chairman, the head of creative, those positions change in the competition, people I have 5-year contracts with are just magically going to switch teams. Good luck with that. Adam Cole is signed into about 2027 now. So I wouldn't expect to see him going anywhere anytime soon. Malachi Black's got almost 5 years left on his deal. I wouldn't expect to see him going anywhere anytime soon. So just because these guys had some success under a previous administration somewhere else, they're not magically going to be going anywhere else. Those are two people I really like, just as examples of people that have worked under that previous administration now, and I'm very amused by that. And that's a narrative I see so-called wrestling writers pushing every day. It's pretty amusing.
Well, thank you for your honesty as always. And we just had Natty Neidhart on, and she's talking about how a lot of the women want to deactivate their Twitter because it's so toxic. And I know you get it too, and it's wrong. And that's why, I love this open forum we always have, but also why I always defend, your vision as well as professional wrestling, because people don't know the truth, and then they want to write about it and fabricate, and everybody jumps on it, and it's wrong. I'm so happy for an Orange Cassidy, where everyone's like, oh, if you don't get it, and I'm telling you, I was in the ring with him and I didn't get it. And the moment he turned around, I got him. And I'm telling you from my experience as a professional wrestler for all these years, and it's cool if you don't like him, if you don't like the gimmick, but if you understand it, it's great. And it's, again, your prerogative.
You got it when you got it in the ring with him. And it's one of those things where I needed him to explain it to me. And then when he did, and I sat down and talked to him, I really connected with him, and he's become such a huge part of our shows. But I guess you figured out when he kicked you, he's not trying to actually kick you. Those kicks don't hurt. It's psychological. He's trying to psych you out. And I think that goes a long way. So you being in the ring with him, I think that was a light bulb moment for you.
Yeah. It's that simple, man. It really is.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, wrestling is probably the only industry where journalists, and I use fact, but you don't ever, we do that. So
rarely get reported sides of it. And actually
we do that. So
it's really interesting, Mickey. I think it's such a great point you bring up. And it's funny because I see both sides of it. And actually, so the NFL, people complain about sports media, but I think the NFL media overall does a really good job. And occasionally like a rumor or something, you know, hypothetical, people bring up trade scenarios that could happen, but they rarely get reported as facts. And I think there's good, responsible journalists in sports media overall. It's interesting because in European football, now in England, I do see more and more rumors getting reported as facts, and they get people wound up. But there is definitely a lot more responsibility there than there is in the wrestling media, where there is really, as you said, Mickey, there are people with high journalism standards. But on the aggregate, if you want to get something printed in pro wrestling, you can find somebody to say just about anything for you in pro wrestling. You know, and you can convince somebody to report just about anything as a fact, even if it's ridiculous and untrue. So you're right, the standard for reporting is so low. And also a lot of these people are working with outlets that are fairly legitimate outlets with a lot of following. And they'll still just put up just about, as you know firsthand, I'm sure, just put up just about anything.
Right. Just for the likes or the hits, and a lot of times the headline will read one thing, and then you click the article, and it's really completely opposite. It's not even like
way, because they had affected me. Because it's like, again, like these are guys. So I've seen a couple of these accounts that like work.
Line will read one thing, and then you click the article.
All right. After this too, I got the whole fight card up. For all the matches tonight on AEW and what's going on. And I also have all the matches in the fight card for UFC 277. So I'll go through that too, guys.
Article, and it's just really completely opposite. It's not even like related almost. It can be frustrating at times, I know.
You're totally right. You're totally right. I'm so glad you brought it up. But that's exactly what you said, Mickey. That's why I've seen a couple of these accounts that like work for big outlets. And it just amuses me because it's like, again, like these are guys in some cases that have been here less than a year that did like 5-year contracts, and you know, they're just magically going to go away because they had a better time working for one guy than the guy, you know, after him. It doesn't make any sense. So I've seen a lot of that this week and gotten a lot of that, but it's also nothing new. You know, it's funny though, because we're on such a great run, but I do feel like the way I see people talking about this summer, you know, it has been challenging. You know, you want to get all the top stars in, but we're having such a great summer and great results. Rampage just did the best demo we've done since April, and it's been up 2 straight weeks in the demo. And Dynamite's been the #1 show on cable for 5 straight weeks on Wednesday. And we have all these great matches on tap tonight. I think tonight's one of the strongest lineups, and Fight for the Fallen is always a really big show for us. And I see also these magical narratives. Somebody may have seen this post, and it was from like an AEW fan. So I love the fans. But I'd go back and question some of these facts, okay? Here's a post I saw. We're 4 weeks from All Out. Okay, well, that's not true. Immediately, like, okay, we're 6.5 weeks from All Out. So, okay, so I'm taking this a grain of salt with this person's comments right off the bat. We're 4 weeks from All Out. We don't know all the matches All Out. We don't know the matches. They haven't gotten into the card. At this time last year, 4 weeks out, we knew everything. Okay, well, first of all, again, we're 6.5 weeks out. We're not 4 weeks out.
I'm pretty sure the main event's going to be Moxley CM Punk at All Out September 4th, Sunday, for the unified world title. That's my prediction. I'm predicting it right now.
And no, we did not know any of it at this time last year. And furthermore, the first dance was on August 20th. It was less than 2 weeks before the pay-per-view when CM Punk came in. The week before that was the Kenny Omega Christian match. That was August 13th. That set up their match at the pay-per-view. The Lucha Brothers Jurassic Express match was on the 3rd episode of Rampage on August 27th, like 9 days before the pay-per-view. So like most of the biggest matches were getting set up in the final week because a lot of stuff was changing. Punk was coming in and we were getting set for the arrivals of Danielson and Cole a lot of the stuff leading into All Out happened in the final week. And honestly, I don't know how people are remembering it so differently, but facts get distorted pretty quickly and disseminated pretty quickly. So it's amazing how quickly that stuff spreads. So this person got people convinced we're 4 weeks out from the pay-per-view and we're over 6 weeks out. But I got to say, I think it's been a great summer for us. Fight for the Fallen is always a great show. That's what we have on tap tonight. It's going to be, I think, just as we've seen in the past, a great show. And really this summer, the Forum show last month, and in particular, I thought Road Rager with the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express ladder match, Will Ospreay versus Dax. I mean, that was an outstanding show. And so when I look back at the Forum, Road Rager, Fighter Fest Night 1 with Keith and Swerve winning the belts, we've had some of our best shows we've ever done. It's just been in the last 2 months. And with all the people we've had missing, I think this has been really an incredible summer for AEW. And when you saw at the very beginning of the summer, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, several others all getting injured, and then other challenging circumstances have put a lot of the other top stars out too. This is why we have such a deep roster. 6-8 months ago, people thought there were too many people here. Certainly now it doesn't feel that way, I think, because so many stars have stepped in, and it's an exciting summer. And despite what anybody says, AEW has really grown a lot this year. Our last 4 pay-per-views have been the biggest ones we've ever done. And tonight is our 4th Fight for the Fallen, and hopefully this can be the biggest Fight for the Fallen yet too.
And
the summer of Khan.
That's right. The summer of Khan continues because, like you said, it continues tonight again on TBS, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Fight for the Fallen. Tony, as always, thank you so much for the time. Looking forward to what we're going to see tonight.
Hey, thank you for having me on. See you tonight.
All right,
hey, Tony.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The great Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, on Busted Open earlier today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will get into the matches for Dynamite tonight. It looks like we'll be leading off with Ethan Page versus Leon Ruffin. Then we'll roll in with Matt Sydal versus Lee Moriarty. Not a very great match there, but Then we'll roll next with Sammy Guevara versus Dante Martin. Now that will be a good match. Now that match I'm looking forward to. Probably going to go with Sammy Guevara and the Jericho Appreciation Society on that one. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the proper way to let you guys know what's going on in the sports world. I'll let you know the matches. I will let you know the fight card for UFC. I will let you know the matches for AAA, the matches for AEW Dynamite, the matches for AEW pay-per-views. Maybe BKFC, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So I'll do a little review and let you know the matches for that. So this is Minnesota Vikings fan sports doing a review of what's going on. I'll also probably do a little update each week for the Minnesota Vikings and let you know the preview on that. That's right. Minnesota Vikings fan preview in AEW, preview in the UFC, preview in AAA wrestling, previewing Bare Knuckle Fighting pay-per-view, previewing anything else out there in the sports world. The Minnesota fucking Vikings each week, motherfuckers. Maybe we'll go to the Super Bowl. That's right. This is what Real as Fuck TV does now, motherfuckers. I also, would do a show once in a while where we'll just have a regular show. People can call in. People can always call in sometime too. I will try to have the Skype line open all the time when I'm online doing these previews of these great events rolling in 2022. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next up, we have Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling versus Swerve Strickland. Not a bad match. That should be entertaining. 2-on-1 handicap. You know, handicap. We know what that's like. We got a lot of handicap. And yeah, handicap, motherfuckers. Thanks, Rose. Yeah, man, this is the proper way to try to do shit. You know, I could be in the Legends Lounge and really step it up. Be trying to get them donations, but I don't need to. But like I said, this is the new format of how shit's going to be now from now on. So I don't need no drama shit. I don't need that shit. You won't catch me calling in to Tony from Joe's Rear, or barely catch me on motherfucking YR shit. Barely. You probably won't really catch me on there no more after the shit they've been pulling. I'm pretty good on that. I'm pretty good for the most part. I got a new plan. This is what I'm going to be doing, so fuck it. I don't need the shit. This is better. This will be better. So then we got Bryan Danielson making his comeback tonight versus Daniel Garcia. Daniel likes to smoke them Garcias. I'm probably going to go with Bryan Danielson on that one. Then we got Ricky Starks versus the great Danhausen for the FTW championship. Ooh, that was a good one. For the FTW championship. I'm probably going to go with Danhausen on that one. Now, Tony Khan, when you're writing this stuff, please don't let Minnesota Vikings fans impact here what I'm talking about, influence you on who to write as the winner. All right? You know, just because I'm saying Danhausen's going to win the FTW championship tonight. You know, it don't mean you got to write it that way, but these are just my predictions. They're not truthful. They're not reality because reality hasn't happened yet. So these are predictions. Reality by 9 p.m. Central Standard Time tonight, they'll be reality, and we'll see if my predictions were correct or not. We shall see. We shall see. What up, Fest Love? What up? So, yeah, man, you want to get the reviews on the big pay-per-view events? Get them here every Wednesday, motherfuckers. Sometime be looking for the big events, big pay-per-view event updates every Wednesday. I'll be rolling through the cards and letting you know what's going on. After this, I'm going to go through the UFC 277 card for Saturday night and break that down for you. Just like I'm breaking down the Dynamite card tonight. Fight for the Fallen, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying what's going on. Oh, fuck that guy. Who cares about that turncoat motherfucker? I don't give a fuck. Hope you're enjoying the preview of the Fight for the Fallen tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we got Thunder Rosa versus Mia Yamashita. That should be pretty good. Maya Yamashita. Tony Khan trying to build up the Japanese over here. He's trying to build up advertisement over in Japan, build AEW, which I'm sure he probably, because someday he wants to probably run a pay-per-view there every year, would be my prediction. Just like I believe that Tony Khan would like to run a pay-per-view every year over in the UK at the O2, which holds about 20,000 people. That will be my prediction because AEW did say they are going to be expanding the pay-per-view realm from 4 to who knows. I'm guessing 6, and I say possibly there'll be the Japanese, there'll be one over in Japan, and there'll be one over in the UK, and that'll be the expanded 6. So there'll be a pay-per-view every other month, and then when there ain't a pay-per-view on that month, you'll have Battle of the Belts. So you pretty much will have like a almost pay-per-view every single month. Eventually, once AEW gets it up and going. Like I said, these guys are 2 years behind because of COVID. Just like you're starting to see them make more themed AEWs, just like you got Fight for the Fallen. You had Fyter Fest week 1 and 2, the last 2 weeks. You got Grand Slam. You got the New Year's Eve Slam. You got fucking Quake by the Lake coming up here in Minneapolis about 3 weeks away. Like I said, there's a reason that he's making all these like themed dynamites and rampages. Oh, you had fucking Blood and Guts. Like, because that means that he's going to be doing them every year. He's going to have them every year in this spots. Just like I was saying before, Quake by the Lake will be the Minnesota one that he'll be doing every year. I believe that's what's going on, and it's taking him time. He's got to put these together and get the franchise LLCs for each one that he's making. You know, like Fight for the Fallen now, it's been a pay-per-view before, and it's also been a Dynamite, themed Dynamite, and not Rampage, but Dynamite. This will be the first Rampage of it. So, Fight for the Fallen has gone either way. It's been a pay-per-view and it's been a themed Dynamite. It's been both. Just to give you guys a little bit of history. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then we got the main event. Jon Moxley and Roosh for the AEW Interim World Championship. So we got 3 motherfucking title matches tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Not bad, not bad. Should be a nice little event. I mean, fucking every week's been pretty fucking good with Rampage too. Dynamite and Rampage been kicking fucking ass. But they're rolling hard to fucking sell them pay-per-views on Sunday, September 4th for All Out. They're really, really working hard to sell them pay-per-views. I don't really got a Dynamite card together yet because they haven't really put that up, so I can't really run that. Or I'd run that too. But like I said, this is the way a preview of a show should be. This is how you preview it. You let everybody know all the matches and the cards and fucking what's happening. So this is how it will be. All right. Fight for the Fallen in a few short hours, ladies and gentlemen. About 6 hours away, a little over 6 hours. AEW will be kicking off Fight for the Fallen Dynamite tonight. All right, let's roll over down to UFC 277. Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. The pay-per-view kicks off, motherfuckers. Here we go, and here we go. We got the middleweights. Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold. Should be an all right match. Oh, fuck. Wait. Now it's been canceled. Oh, no. Sorry. Oh, well, that ain't good, ladies and gentlemen. A main card match on UFC 277 been canceled. Oh, they do got a replacement though. All right. Don't know why that one's been canceled. Hopefully nobody got killed or nothing serious. In the light heavyweights, we got Muhammad Akhmulov versus Antonio Smith. In the light heavyweights, that should be a good one. Then we got in the flyweights, Alexandre Panterol versus Alex Perez. That one should be all right in the flyweights. Then we got Derek Lewis versus Sergio Pavlich. That should be a nice heavyweight, good battle there. Then we got in the flyweights, Brandon Morneau versus Kai Kara France. And in the main event, we got Fernando Pena versus Amanda Nunes. Should be a woman's bantamweight, and that's the main event for UFC 277. This is their second battle now. It should be pretty good, I hope. Yeah, I'll be watching. Everything I watch. If I'm reviewing it, I'm watching it, motherfuckers. If I'm previewing it, if I'm previewing it, I am watching it. So, just like I will be watching Fight for the Fall tonight. Well, I guess that's about all I really got, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the previews. Sunday I will be on to preview Ric Flair's last match. That should be pretty good. Fight for the Fall in the night. Everything going on, motherfuckers. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out. See what we got here real quick. What do we got? You motherfuckers that are letting Tony fuck. Alright, well. That's about it. Peace out, motherfuckers. Hope you enjoyed that preview.